Loramie, Ohio. It is Thursday night, March the 29th, 2012. And Ken, you barely made it to the studio here tonight, didn't you?
Boy, Craig, I did. I just got here about 5 minutes ago, people. So, it's baseball season, and some of them games can run awful long. And we had an exciting one in Sydney tonight, but it was a barn burner. So it's fun to be playing baseball.
All right, well, we're going to be talking a lot about baseball tonight. We got that big interview we did last night with Coach Gold. That's coming up the second half tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit of softball. We got Fort Loramie head coach Brad Turner is going to be coming on here in just a little bit. We're even going to be talking a little bit of track. But before we get to all that, let's get to our weekly trivia question. And Ken, I was thinking before you got here, I'm thinking, how can we make it any easier to get rid of these T-shirts? You're just asking a question, a trivia question, right?
All I do is ask the question, Craig. And like you said, the winner can win this Fish Report Live Sports T-shirt. And Craig's even posting the questions up on the front of the screen there. So if you know the answer, text us, tweet us, however you want to get it to us. Social stream on the social streams tab there. So tonight's trivia question is this: who was the first Shelby County League team to win a league state championship? Who was the first Shelby County League team to win any type of state championship? Send us an answer and you win a free T-shirt.
Just that easy, huh?
That's that easy. Now, all you got to do is know who that team was. Who was the first team ever to win a state championship in Shelby County League history?
Okay, like Ken said, and I'll try to make it as clear as possible, on the right side of the web page, there's a social stream tab. Click on that, log in with your Facebook or Twitter account. You can send your answer in that way. If you don't want people to see your answer, you can also text us. I got the text number there on the screen. If you're sitting at Cruiser's Bar and Grill right now watching us on the big screen and you can't send a message in on your computer, you can use that text number. Make sure you put your name on there, though, so we know who sent us the answer. So, all right, we'll look forward to getting an answer to that at the end of the show. Ken, last week we talked a lot about track. Not going to talk so much about track tonight, but I do want to talk about it for a few seconds, talk about this past week. And the Loramie girls actually had a meet on Tuesday night that they did pretty well at, didn't they?
They did. The girls participated in the what is now called the Joe Ward Memorial in Sydney. It used to be called the Sydney Invitational. And the Loramie girls did very well. Craig, they've only got 11 girls that participate on the track team. I believe that's 11 to 12 girls. And but they're all very good girls. They're all good runners. They're good jumpers. They can do a lot of things. They're good throwers. So, Jackie Seifring led the way again. She's doing great in the hurdles. She got a couple first. Emily Borcher's got a first place. Becca Meyer got a first place. And Macy Monty got second in that same event. So, they're doing all this damage. They got second at Versailles. They got first at the Joe Ward. And two of their better track athletes who went to state last year have not even participated yet.
That's right.
They're both in a little rehab right now, but they get them back, and they're just going to be that much tougher.
Now you got a high jumper there, Bethany York.
You got high jumper Bethany York, who also runs a leg in the 4x4. She went to state last year in 2 events. And then you've got Lauren Francis, who is a middle distance runner, who has also went to state last year. So they get those 2 girls back, they'll be really strong.
Yeah, they're only going to get better. So, and on the boys' side, we've got a big meet coming up this weekend, don't we?
Yeah, the Versailles Men's Invitational is this weekend, and there'll be a lot of schools there, a lot of good competition there. I know Waynesville Goshen will be there, and I would assume they got a few Horn boys like they usually do. And so Loramie will have their hands full over there, but they've got some good athletes as well, and wish them the best of luck to all the area teams.
At Loramie, Fort Loramie, Houston, Jackson Center, and I think even Minster's going to be there, so there'll be a lot of good competition. So, all right, well that'll do it for our track talk tonight. Let's talk a little softball. We didn't talk about that really last week at all. First things first, let's get some scores. You got any scores from tonight?
We got some scores, some County League action tonight. Houston played Botkins, and Houston run-rolled at Botkins. I'm not sure what the exact score was. Loramie had a non-league game tonight. They traveled to Coldwater, lost a tough one there at Coldwater by a score of 2-1. And then another County League game tonight was Fort Loramie, the defending league champion. Last year ran the table, went 12-0 in the league. Traveled to Anna, and to me this is somewhat of a surprise. Anna actually knocked them off by a sscore of 9-7.
Oh,
so
wow. Anna
girls softball must be better than I thought, anyways.
Okay, well we're going to have Coach Turner on here in a little bit. Hopefully he's in a somewhat good mood, but that's probably not the way he wanted to get started on his season. So
That's right.
All right, Ken. Well, before we get him on here, let's talk a little bit about softball. I want to ask you about any impact players that you see this season. I'll start out with the easy one. Rushie's got the returning player of the year, Caitlin Herron. She was a second-team All-State last year. I know she had I think 14 wins. Her ERA was like 1.82, 227 strikeouts, which is a lot for girls softball. She also batted .406 while she's at it, and so that's an easy pick for returning player that's they'll hopefully have a good year. And how about the debut of Rushie freshman Kennedy Metz?
Yeah, what a newcomer there for the Lady Raiders softball team. Coach Hamden's got a nice team this year, and then you throw in a freshman right out of the gate, Kennedy Metz. She plays in a big league game at Houston, and all she does is hit 2 triples, a home run, 3 RBIs, scores 3 times. And then the next night against Fort Recovery, she goes 3 for 4 with a double and 4 RBIs. So what a start for Kennedy Metz.
Yeah, and then that second game she played against Fort Recovery, I think the Raiders went down against Fort Recovery, but I've got her stats as 3 for 4 with a double, 4 RBIs. So she kept it going that second game.
Yes, she did. There's a few other girls out there in the county, Craig. Houston's got a nice player back from last year, Nicolette Holdhouse. She was an all-county player last year. And Jackson Center has Hannah Meyer. Last year she was second-team all-county. She's their shortstop and hit .323. So those are a couple of the other girls, as well as some Fort Loramie girls.
Yeah, some Fort Loramie girls we'll find out about here in just a second. A couple of them I want to mention right off the bat that I know of. Macy Turner is one of them. She's returning for her senior year. She was a first-teamer last year. I think she plays shortstop. I've got her as batting .358 last year. She had 3 homers. I believe she might even had the first homer on that new diamond last year.
I think she did.
Okay, and then you've got their pitcher, Paige Ordine, who I'm sure we're going to hear about here in just a second. She got off to a good start. I believe she struck out 14 batters Monday night against Jackson Center, which was I think, a school record.
Yes, it was. Fort Loramie's just loaded with some good players. Just a lot of good athletes at Fort Loramie right now with their volleyball program, their basketball program, and their softball. So they're doing very well.
Well, let's get Coach Turner on the phone here and talk to him and find out a little bit more about his team. And like I said, hopefully he's in a little bit better mood than maybe he was an hour ago. But
Hello.
Coach Turner, you're on with Fish Report Live. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello? Uh-oh.
Well, we'll try him back here again. I think we lost him. But, yeah, we're going to ask Coach Turner about his team. Like I said, know about Macy Turner and Paige Ordine, a couple of the stars. Want to find out, though, about a few more of his position players. Coach Turner, are you there?
I'm here now, yeah.
All right, sorry we lost you there a little earlier. We were just talking about the score tonight, kind of a shocker for us. We hear you got beat 9-7. It was a high-scoring game, but probably not the way you wanted to start the season, is it? Coach?
What the hell?
Well, we're having some connection problems here. Let's try him again one more time, Ken.
Hello.
Coach,
I'm still here.
third time's a charm here.
How we doing, Craig? Again.
Hi, Coach. Appreciate you taking your time and joining us tonight.
We
Hey,
thought
no problem.
we thought maybe you hung up on us when we told your score tonight, 9-7 at Anna. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. It was tough one to swallow a little bit, but Anna's got a nice young team over there. A lot of underclassmen, and they put the bat on the ball and hit it where we weren't, and we're able to get quite a few runs off of us. So usually 7 runs is enough to win a ball game, but not tonight.
All right. Well, hopefully you bounce back in your next one here. I want to start out though talking a little bit about last year. 2011 was kind of a record-breaking year for you. Your record was 27-5. You finished 12-0 in the league. I think you set records for wins, runs, hits, RBIs, home runs, just all kinds of categories there. I want to ask you, Coach, what did that do for your program coming into this season?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. 2011 was a pretty good ride and a good run, and I think what it does for us this year is it definitely raises the bar and raises the level of expectations for us. I think last year we kind of snuck up on a lot of teams, and as we're kind of seeing already, this year's squad, we're not going to get that luxury field and put the best foot forward. But one of the things that we really tried to do the last several years is establish a sense of tradition, and we feel like we're in the early stages of doing just that. But where we have a program that is respected and solid, and one that year in and year out is in contention to win a lot of ball games. Coach Sturwold has that with the baseball team, and the volleyball and basketball programs have it too. But we're just hoping that we can win a good number of ball games and compete at a high level. So I think last year's successes were hopefully the start of that type of mentality.
Okay, well, we mentioned a couple of your stars there a few minutes ago. Your pitcher, Paige Ordine. We mentioned Macy Turner. For our viewers out there that are not familiar with your team, can you tell us who some of your other key players are and maybe what positions they play?
Yeah, you're right. Paige is a big player for us. Those who are familiar with the game know that a good softball team starts and a lot of times ends with your pitcher. And Paige is a junior, and she's off to a pretty good start for us. She throws hard, and she's going to keep us in a lot of ball games. Just as a clarification, Macy is a junior this year, so I want to be sure to be able to hold on to her for another year. She plays shortstop for us and does a nice job. Katie Ireman and Vicki Long are our two seniors, both outfielders, and we need them to provide some senior leadership if we're going to have any success this season. I mentioned Macy, and we also have Danielle Werman as a 2-year letter winner who's also a junior. She plays second base for us, does a real nice job there, and handles the bat real well too. Darian Rose is playing third, and she also backs up Paige as a pitcher. People know her, know that she's a gifted athlete, and she can hit the ball as well as anyone I've had the opportunity to coach. And she lettered as a freshman last year. She's a key player as well. All those girls are returning letter winners, but we've got other girls like Megan Bullheimer to hit for us, and Reggie Brandwee's playing some ball for us this year after sitting out a couple of years and giving it a go this year. And Ashley Ordine can catch and play some first base. Taylor Timmerman's the catcher. Elizabeth Barhorse settling into center field spot, and we've also got a couple freshmen, Hallie Bain-Andrew and Janelle Hoying, who will no doubt have a thing to say about how this season's going to go. And I know I just rattled through my whole roster, but I think for us to have success, we're going to need everybody to step up and hopefully get some things accomplished yet this year.
Coach, this is Ken, and this is you got 4 years in. I believe this is your 5th year. Your program and yourself have becoming known as one of the more respected programs and one of the more respected coaches in the Miami Valley. You're averaging nearly 18 wins per season, and let's face it. I guess myself, you don't have a big softball background, maybe other than some of your slow pitch softball days that I know of. So, who or what do you credit towards your success to learning the game?
Well, I feel like I've got some more wins to get or some more time to put in before I'm in the category, but I do appreciate it. But like almost anything or anyone, a lot of it starts at home. Having an understanding wife and your kids on board with what you're doing, that's huge. So Andrea deserves a lot of credit for what she has to put up with throughout the seasons. But growing up, I was a huge baseball fan, and I'm just going to get enough of it. So being a fan of the game for as long as I can remember, that's one thing. But when I played, I paid pretty close attention to my coaches, and I was fortunate enough to have some really good ones. Even my youth coaches. I was lucky enough to play for Leon DeLoy, and I learned quite a bit from him about how to treat kids and how to make the game fun. And I had some good high school coaches. Randy Schaefer I had for 3 years, and Mike Anthony. I got to play for John Hefner, over there at Rushi. I played a couple summers with some a little travel team that he helped put together, and learned a lot from him. Played Legion ball for Wayne Schaffner for a couple seasons, and I never had more fun playing the game than I did for those 2 seasons with him. So all of those men really helped shape my coaching philosophy, because I enjoyed every playing experience that I had, and that's really what I want to try to have for my players. I want them to have a positive experience playing this great game. So But, of course, having great athletes goes a long way, too, and we've been blessed with some pretty gifted young ladies over here, and supportive parents and a supportive community and school. All that goes a really long way as well.
Well, you mentioned some very good names there in baseball, and that's very nice of you to mention those gentlemen, because they're scholars of the game of baseball. So that's an impressive list that you listed there. You mentioned some key players. Darian Rose. You just hear that name, and whether it's volleyball or basketball or softball, and you got the Brandaway, and you got all these big names. Turner. The success of those other programs you kind of talked about a little bit before, so you don't need to reiterate on it. But it's amazing how the success of volleyball and basketball has probably rolled over to the softball diamond for you.
Absolutely. It goes with the old adage that success breeds success, and when a kid learns what it takes to compete, and even more importantly, what they have to do to win, and what they have to do to win is to prepare. They're able to carry that over really into anything that they do. And where basketball girls learned about themselves while playing in front of those crowds on that tournament run, and where volleyball girls learned about themselves in their season and winning a district championship, that absolutely those experiences absolutely become valuable things to draw upon and to carry over on the softball diamond.
I've got one last question for you, Coach. The Turner brothers, they can be quite vocal with each other. You get yourself and Nick and Joe and everybody involved. When it comes to softball issues, is Sister Karen the voice of reason?
I've been really fortunate to go through this whole coaching thing with my brother Nick. We've had a lot of fun together doing it, and you're right. At the Turner get-togethers, the conversation usually turns to softball at some point. And like you might imagine, it's usually my older brother Joe who chimes in and gets his 2 cents in there too. And yeah, Karen's supportive. She gets to her fair share of ball games, and maybe a couple years we'll have her daughter Maddie playing for us. But as far as the voice of reason, of course that's Mom and Dad, and they've been there for us, with us all along the way. But the thing is, they're not just there to watch Nick and me hee-haw around out there. They've had at least one granddaughter on the team for the past 4 seasons, and my nieces Caitlin and Macy, and so it's been a lot of fun to do it together and to have everybody involved. And I think that kind of support gets back to the earlier question about how and why we've been able to kind of have some success here. So, but yeah, Nick and I, we try not to embarrass the family name too much.
Well, hey, listen, Coach, before we let you go, just real quickly, I want you to tell us and tell anyone that's never been to a fast-pitch girls softball game before why they should come to a game. What makes it so exciting?
Well, I tell you, it really is a great game. What people will see from the get-go is that fast-pitch softball. It's a faster-paced game than baseball. In our game, we don't have leadoff. We don't lead off bases, so you don't have pickoff attempts or lookovers from the pitchers, which really can delay a ball game. And everything's closer and tighter. It just causes for a lot of different types of things to happen. Bases are 60 feet apart, pitching distance 43 feet. Fences are somewhere between 180 and 220, and just a lot of different and crazy things can happen, and they do. And when you get 2 good teams with 2 decent pitchers, the game moves and it's an up-tempo affair. And I think that's a fan-friendly thing for people. A game's likely to be over in an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half, and so you can come watch a game and still get home to mow the lawn. As far as the dozens and dozens of Fish Report listeners out there, and you're part of the world of Rushi, and you mentioned her earlier, but you guys really have a special player over there in Caitlin Heron. The fans and the community of Rushi really should make a point to see her pitch at some point this year, because she's special, and arms like hers don't come around very often. At least I don't hope they come around very much in Rushi. After seeing her for 4 years, I've seen enough of her. I'm going to be glad to see her graduate. But I'll say too, these girls can play the game. They know what's going on. They know what they're doing. They sacrifice their body, and it's amazing to see the plays that they turn in. I encourage anyone who likes baseball to give fast-pitch softball a chance and take an hour or so and see what the game's about and ask questions about it, because it really is a lot of fun.
Well, hey, thanks for that. We'll look forward to your Redskins coming to Rushi, and that battle between Caitlin and Paige sounds like it could be a good one.
It absolutely will. And Craig and Ken, before I go, I just want to thank you guys for what you do with this show, and Craig with the Fish Report online. Getting people in the area excited and turned on to what the kids are doing, and providing an opportunity for people to get to know about the accomplishments of the area athletes. It's really a pretty neat thing. And as a coach and a teacher and a fan, I just want to say thank you and keep up the good work.
Thanks a lot, Coach, and listen, best of luck to you from Fish Report and from the Russia Raiders over here.
Hey, we'll take anything we can get. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach Turner.
Good night.
All right, that was Fort Loramie head girls softball coach Brad Turner. Again, probably not the way he wanted to start the season, but I'm not going to count them out yet.
No, don't count him out. And you know what? He was very good on the radio there, or on our show, and great talker. And you can tell he does it because he loves the kids, and he's doing it for what's good for him.
He knows
his stuff.
Yeah, he sure does. All right, well, let's take a quick break. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we've got that big interview that we did last night with Coach Gold, and you won't want to miss that. We'll be right back.
Turn off the BP sound, close the drawer, sweep the floor, change the sound, close the lock the door. Kevin's waiting in his Thunderbird, blasting down the pitiless old American girl. Restless kids is ready for the night, all they're ready for the night. 17 pissed at the world, we don't know why, but it's worth that for. Tomorrow's just a lifetime away, but tonight is everything. It's another small town song about nothing ever going on a Friday night. Heading to a town, score some beers, sneak into housing, check out the local bands, tie on the bus and take a chance with the regular just to get shot down. Another night in a small town. Girls are wearing the Mendes house, been there for a while, feeling good, no doubt. Carrie's mending a broken heart, Bob's out and waiting since she's tired of it all. Can't hang out the mill no more. The cows ran us off, but I'm not sure. We'll just cruise the outskirts of town till we run out of beer, all the gas runs out.
All right, Ken. Well, before the break, we were talking girls softball. We're now going to change gears, talk about some boys baseball. Before we let's start it out like we did with girls softball and get some scores maybe from tonight. I know there was a big game, Fort Loramie playing at Anna. A couple of the I guess potential top teams in the county. You got a score on that one?
I do. I would say Fort Loramie and Anna. Fort Loramie's always up there. Anna's got a really good team this year. Rushia's going to be there, but I'd say those three teams are probably your top three teams in the league. And good game at Anna tonight, and Fort Loramie traveled to Anna. Anna came away with a 5-0 shutout victory.
Oh, wow.
So 5-0 win for the Anna Rockets. So two big wins for Anna tonight over there at Anna. And, I don't know who pitched for Anna, but, obviously they threw a very good baseball game to shut Fort Loramie out because, Loramie's tough to beat and tough to shut down. So that was the win over there. Russia played in a non-league game. Sydney came over to Russia tonight. Sydney won that game 13-8, and only one max score to report. Minster won over Spencerville 12-1.
Okay.
So.
I know there was one other game, Houston at Botkins was trying to get a score on. Tried to text a couple of my friends over there. Didn't get any response back from them. And speaking of that, if any of the viewers out there, if you do have some scores and you want to send them to us on Thursday night before the show, you've got our text number up there on the screen. please send them to us. We'll be happy to report them to everybody else out there. So, all right, Ken, again, we're going to have that interview with Coach Gold coming up here in a little bit. Before we do that, though, we talked about some impact players in girls softball. Let's talk about some impact players in boys baseball. And, you just mentioned Anna beating Fort Loramie, and I know Anna's got a lot of nice players. I'll mention three of them right off the bat. Jake Counts, Luke Kinlan, and Wes Walters, three nice players for there. Jake actually is a pitcher for Anna, 3-0 last year. I know he batted 400 plus, nice player for him. Wes Walters, their shortstop. Luke Kinlan's a second teamer last year, plays outfield, I believe. But they've got some nice kids coming back for them. So it really, I guess it's not that big of a surprise that they knocked off Loramie tonight.
That's right. Anna's got some really nice ball players. They got a great coach over there, and they got it going together pretty early this season. So they're playing well. Fort Loramie, they've got some great players coming back. Coach Sturwold over there, he does a fantastic job. He's got a super program going right now. They're probably led by senior Jared Albers, I would say, on the mound. He's probably going to be their ace of their staff, I would say. He's been pitching varsity baseball now for 3 years. Last year he was a first-team All-County performer. He went 3-2 on the mound, and he hit a little bit over 300. Junior Seth Giozzi, he was 4-1 on the mound last year. He does a very good job. He had a great basketball season. He obviously stepped into a quarterback role on the football team this year. So again, here you've got those Loramie athletes. They're good in football. So one thing kind of carries over to the next. So expect a good big year out of Seth. Along with Fort Loramie, another senior shortstop, Kyle Bullheimer. Last year he was a second-team All-County performer. So Coach Sturwell's got a nice nucleus back, and expect him to have another successful season.
Okay. And then some of the other teams in the league, Jackson Center's got a nice player coming back.
They do. You guys might have heard of this guy, Craig. I think we talked about him. Andy Hoyne.
Yeah.
You ever hear of him?
Boy, we talked about him a bunch this winter.
Yeah, I can't believe it, but last year he was first-team All-County in baseball. He led the Tigers in hitting with nearly a 500 batting average, and he pitches and he plays shortstop. No way.
Yeah, he does it all.
So he's a big player for Jackson Center, and Rushi. They've got probably a younger team this year than a lot of people think. But returning senior Colin McEldowney last year, first-team All-County member, and he's coming off a foot injury, but I think he played tonight the full game for the first time all year. So
yeah, you're going to hear about him in just a second, and I think he's the key, Ken. I think for the Raiders to do well, Colin's going to have a big year for him.
Yes, he does. He hit 355 last year, and like I said, he's going to have to hit every bit of that this year to help carry that offensive load for the Raiders.
Okay. Well, let's get to that interview that Coach Gold gave us last night. Find out what he said about senior Colin McEldowney. Find out what he said about a lot of things, including what he said about the Minster Wildcats, who he faced earlier this week. So, watch this.
I'm anxious for this season to move along.
Thank you, Coach. All right, Coach, let's start talking about last night. You got a chance to play the defending D4 state champions. How'd the Minster Wildcats look?
Minster is very talented. They're very well coached. I'm sure got a lot of kids back off of last year's team, and they were very sound. Their pitching was very good, threw fairly hard, nice breaking pitches. Offensively, they put the ball in play. They were a good team to play, and I enjoy playing good teams like that. It makes the game a little bit more fun.
Sounds like they're going to be a contender again this year then. Huh?
Again, you got to have things fall your way, but again, they're very, very sound and very well coached.
Okay. I know it's early in the season. You've only played 2 games so far, but do you have any concerns this early in the season?
The only concerns I have is arms. Again, like the basketball team did very, very well, and unfortunately at Pickle, I never really had to worry about the basketball team going far in tournament. So this is something a little bit new to me. Again, the basketball players have only been out about 8 or 9 days. So, they're all now pitching, and so I'm just concerned about their arms and making sure we don't rush them too far too quick.
Okay. Senior Colin McEldowney, speaking of basketball, he sat the entire basketball season with an injury. How's his health?
I think it's better. His ankle's still sore, but it's sore from, now getting out there and doing things that he hasn't done for several months. And so he's been DH'd in these first 2 games and has done very, very well. Apparently that injury hasn't hurt his batting eye. And tomorrow night against Sydney, we're going to put him behind the plate for a couple innings and see how it feels.
How's the pitching?
Pitching, again, everything's starting to sort itself out a little bit. Again, Trevor Sherman, I've been very impressed with. Trey, I thought threw well last night. Again, I thought Mr. Hitters did a few good things with some of the pitches he threw, but I'm pretty confident in those two guys. And tossing Cole McEldowney, Cole has thrown well in the 2 scrimmages and came in against Houston to give Trevor some breaks. So I think the pitching is going to start sorting itself out a little bit.
Last year, Russia had a power hitting third baseman by the name of Mitch Knight. Has anyone been able to step into that power hitter role this season?
That would be no at the moment. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Last week on our show, Ken talked about a BB Core bat this year, a softer bat this season. Does that affect your coaching philosophy at all, changing that?
I think it'll affect everybody's coaching philosophy. Again, if you check the scores, I haven't seen the city paper, but I know down our way the scores of the games have been 2-1, 3-0, 2-0. Again, it's a whole new ball game now. So coaches are going to be doing a lot more bunting, a lot more stealing to put the ball in play, because you're just not going to drive the ball like you have in the past.
And my last question, what are your goals, or can you share your goals for the players this season, for the team?
Again, I've been really impressed so far. Again, they work really, really hard. There's a lot of new things that I'm trying to teach them that they're maybe a little mystified at, but their effort has been outstanding. And when we get everything straight and get everybody moved to where they need to be, I think we're going to be pretty good. I really do. I'm anxious for this season to move along.
Thank you, Coach. All right, Coach. That was Russia baseball head coach Rick Gold. Seems like a pretty good guy, Ken, doesn't he?
He's a great guy, and he's got a lot of experience. He brings a wealth of knowledge of baseball to Russia, and he's just going to do phenomenal things with this Russia baseball program, and couldn't ask for a better guy coming over to run our program.
Okay. One question I want to ask you, something he said in the video there was that they really didn't have a power hitter right now. Do you think in order for the Raiders to be successful that they'll have to have a power hitter at some point? Or
I think they do, Craig. Somebody's going to have to step up and fill the role. You may not hit the ball out of the ballpark, but you got to be able to drive the ball into the gap. You got to be able to get that 2-run double, that bases clearing double that can break a game open or get you back into a game. I did hear that Austin Garrity actually did hit one out of the park tonight. So who knows? Maybe he's the guy. I don't know. But you do need somebody to drive the ball and hit the ball hard and drive runs in.
Okay. All right. Well, looking forward to a fun baseball season, a fun softball season coming up as well. Glad we got to talk about that a little bit tonight. So. That's going to wrap it up, though, for our softball and baseball talk.
That's right.
Let's get back to our trivia question. We were encouraging the readers or the viewers out there to answer. Did we get any answers?
We did, Craig, and we actually got a lot of answers tonight. We only got one correct answer tonight.
All right.
And I'm going to read the question, then I want to have somebody come in and give us actually the name of the winner and also the answer to the question. So Tonight's trivia question was, who was the first Shelby County League team in any sport to bring home a state championship? So to give us that answer tonight is none other than our producer here and engineer, Ross Fissinger. Ross, tell the listeners out there, first give them the answer and then tell them who won.
Clay George won.
He did. Okay, yep. Clay George is the winner. What was the answer?
Russia baseball.
What year?
1971.
All right. Congratulations, Clay George. Thanks, Ross. And, again, the Russia Raiders 1971 baseball team, coached by Roger Eckelmeyer, brought home Shelby County League's first ever championship.
All right. Congratulations, Clay, and good job, Ross. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight, Ken. I want to thank some people real quick. Thank our sponsors. Thanks to the folks out at Cruisers Bar and Grill for tuning in tonight. Special thanks to Fort Loramie softball coach Brad Turner, to Coach Gold for coming on or doing that video for us last night. And thanks to all the viewers out there again for tuning in tonight. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday, same time, same place. And for Ken Francis, I'm Craig Fissinger saying good night, everyone.